The garbage disposal problem of Kathmandu metropolis has been a perennial issue. Despite several rounds of agreements reached for the waste management, the local residents at Banchadidara and Sisdol in Nuwakot have not been easily convinced. Eventually, a development late yesterday afternoon states that Banchadidara locals have agreed to the metropolis proposal to dump waste at their backyard. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma, and these are the headlines of the hour. Lawmakers fleet the government for what they call unclear policies adopted against superpowers, say an unwelcome activity noticeable in the country's diplomatic policies. Following local election success, more independent candidates likely to emerge, threatening leaders from old guard parties at the provincial and general elections. Ukrainian port city of Mariupol at risk of a major cholera outbreak as the city's water has mixed with sewage. Uncollected dead bodies and rubbish add to unsanitary conditions. And World Cup champions France settled for a 1-1 draw against Austria in the UEFA Nations League. Croatia defeat Denmark by a solitary goal. Lawmakers have flagged the government for what they say unclear policies adopted against superpowers like the US and China. Lawmakers at the House session yesterday viewed that an unwelcome activity was noticeable in the country's diplomatic policies. They were especially concerned about the lack of clarity regarding the upcoming US visit by Prime Minister Sherbadu Dewa and Chief of Army Staff Prabhuram Sharma. Addressing yesterday's session of the House of Representatives, CPNUML leader Bhim Rao demanded for the briefing on Prime Minister Dewa's upcoming US visit to the Parliament by the Premier himself and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Other lawmakers also expressed their concerns over the upcoming visit of top government officials, including Premier Dewa. The lawmakers were largely vocal about the inability of the stakeholders to maintain sound diplomatic ties with the powerhouses like China and the US, especially at this time of geopolitical standoff. Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. Here's today's question: what should be done to make discussions at the Parliament sessions more fruitful? Your options are A. Listen to recommendations, B. Honest implementation, and C. Focused on results than procedures. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, with discussions over the recently concluded local level elections still in progress, talks have started centering around the upcoming provincial and federal elections. Political parties are likely to face greater challenges in the upcoming elections as several independent candidates have begun declaring their candidacies, while some others are expressing their aspirations. With discussions about provincial and federal elections gaining momentum, aspirants have begun declaring their candidacies for the polls. Of them, several are independent candidates. Those declaring their independent candidacies seem to be enthused and inspired with the win of independent candidates in the local elections in Kathmandu, Dharan, Dhangadi and Janakpur, among others. Meanwhile, even the young leaders of ruling and opposition parties are preparing to present their claim for candidacy in the constituencies of popular leaders in cities including Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Butwal, Biratnagar and Pokhara. Analysts have projected increase in the number of independent candidates as the voters seem to be attracted towards young individuals driven with the energy and purpose to make a change instead of political parties or figures. The reason for such a shift in the public aspirations from political parties is a consequence of the lack of discipline and financial transparency in the party and the leaders, along with their failure in delivering their assurances. Delay in correcting their ill trends is likely to come at a major cost for these parties. Now, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked in several provinces what people's take is on the announcement of candidacy prior to the confirmation of election date. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
स्वतन्त्र उम्मेदवारको खाँचो छ भन्ने एउटा मन सायदै पनि
नेता बनेर चाहिँ नि केही गर्छु भन्ने हिम्मत र साहस छ
भन्ने कुरा देखाइरहेको पाएको
समय छोटो हुन्छ ठाउँ ठाउँमा गएर उनीहरूले भन्न उहाँहरूले प्रचार गर्न त एकदमै अभाव हुन्छ
दलहरुबाट चाहिँ टिकट दिँदाखेरि पनि आफ्नो मान्छेलाई त्यसैगरी आफ्नो नजिकको मान्छेलाई टिकट दिने प्रवृत्तिले गर्दामा पब्लिसिटीको लागि भन्ने लाग्छ
म उम्मेदवार हुँ यस ठाउँको लागि यस क्षेत्रको लागि भन्नु नाजायज हो जस्तो लाग्दैन
जनताको लागि चाहिँ म केही गर्छु कि भनेर आउनु चाहनु भएको
बढी प्रचारमुखी बन्नको लागि
स्वतन्त्रबाट युवाहरूको चाहिँ उम्मेदवारलाई सबैले मन पराएर जनताले विश्वास गरेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि
राजनीतिक दलहरूले हामीले चाहे अनुरूप जनताले चाहे अनुरूपको कामहरू नगर्दिनाले
The Narangad-Mugling road section, which was obstructed by landslides since Friday night, has begun full operation since this morning. The road section in Chitwan's Topekhola of Iksha Kamana Rural Municipality was blocked after landslide triggered by incessant rainfall fell on the road. The District Police Office Chitwan has informed that a police team was deployed on Friday night, and with the help of excavators, the debris were cleared and traffic has now resumed. Likewise, as the Abu Khairani road section on the Prithvi Highway at Dam side has collapsed due to landslide, only one-way traffic is currently in operation and four-wheelers and two-wheelers are only being allowed. The District Administration Office Tanahu has informed that the road section will be closed for traffic daily from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Disputes related to the disposal of Kathmandu's waste finally seemed to have reached a conclusion. The local residents from Nuwakot's Banchari Dada have called off their protest programs, paving way to the collection and disposal of waste from Kathmandu streets. Earlier, Banchari Dada local had rejected the agreement reached between the three entities on Thursday night. A fresh round of dialogue was held yesterday as the disgruntled group of local residents came to an agreement. An agreement has been reached for the construction of a 10-bed hospital in Banchari Dada area, land acquisition among others, following the assurances from Nepali Congress lawmakers to ensure timely implementation of the past agreements. Through a decision from the Council of Ministers, waste is now being disposed in Banchari Dada. Earlier, the local residents of Banchari Dada in Nuwakot had remained firm in their stance of commitment from the stakeholders for timely implementation of the agreement between the federal government and the public representatives. Now, the public have to bear the brunt on a number of instances due to the lapses on behalf of various state bodies. The latest episode has been the lack of coordination between the Finance Ministry and Ministry of Industries, Commerce and Supplies, which resulted in the government unable to hold on to its earlier decision of slashing the petrol price by 10 rupees. The decision to reduce the price by 10 rupees and hike it again by 8 rupees in a matter of 7 days has highlighted the lack of understanding between these state bodies. The state oil monopoly hiked the price of diesel and kerosene by 12 rupees per litre and that of petrol by 8 rupees per litre effective from yesterday. A litre of petrol now sells at 178 rupees, while the price of diesel and kerosene is 165. Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma on 30th of May last week had announced of slashing 10 rupees in a litre of petrol in a bid to provide relief to the general public. The announcement was followed by a reduction of 10 rupees each in every litre of petrol, diesel and kerosene 3 days later. The decision has, however, barely lasted a week, as the oil corporation stated that it was not in a position to bear the massive losses. The government has been levying high taxes on petroleum products. Petrol is bought from India at 125 rupees per litre, but is levied with 7 different taxes to sell at 178 rupees per litre. Likewise, diesel is bought at 127 rupees per litre from India, while it is sold at 165 rupees after going through 7 layers of taxes. The state oil monopoly still incurs a loss of 24 rupees in a litre of petrol and 18 rupees in a litre of diesel, leading to an astounding loss of 3 billion rupees in 15 days. The government, meanwhile, has remained a silent spectator, adamant on not reviewing its tax system, despite twin loss faced by public and oil corporation alike. The government collected 106 billion rupees of revenue from fuel in the past 10 months alone. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.